Hey guys, thank you for joining me on this top 10 list. Coming in at number 4 has to be Pastor Javier Chavez or Dr. Javier Chavez. He's from Peru, he's Latino, and he is strong, for the Lord, and he is strong in the Latino communities within the Spanish churches. And I get the feeling not many people know about him, although there are people that know about him, of course. But, when people think about Spanish churches, Spanish leaders in the church, who do you think about? Most people might think, okay, Paul Washer, but he's bilingual, although he is known in the Spanish church, respectively, right? People might think of, Grace to You Ministries in Spanish, or Ligonier Ministries in Spanish, or the Southern Baptist in Spanish, or whatever. But Spanish leaders, right, themselves, go ahead and name a pastor. I already named a few, like Pastor Annie Quesada from Cuba. But, this is another person I highly recommend you get to know in the church that goes unnoticed. Not many people know about Spanish leaders in the church, like Pastor Annie Quesada. Go ahead and check him out on another video. But here, coming in at number 4 has to be Dr. Javier Chavez. He is a great Spanish leader in the Spanish community right now, laying that very important modern foundation for future Spanish Christian leaders. And let me go ahead and play a little clip from his church. This is a sermon from a while ago. He's preaching from the Old Testament. I skipped to the part where he's giving off the first few points of his sermon. And I'm going to play this. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but I'm going to play this so you could get a little taste of who he is, what he sounds like, and just check out his style, check out his delivery, his tenacity to stick to the Bible. He's speaking to an all Spanish church here, right? This sermon is in Spanish, so, you may not understand, but, go ahead and check it out still.
Algo tan desigual como tener una relación con alguien que pone sus intereses antes que el de la otra persona. Yo estoy seguro que todos los que estamos aquí sabemos y entendemos esto. No hay peor relación que estar con alguien que siempre pone sus intereses por encima de los de la otra persona. Si usted está en una relación así, no es una relación de amor. Porque la Biblia dice que el amor no busca lo suyo, busca el bien de la otra persona. Pero cuando uno está en una relación de pareja, o en una relación de familia, o en una relación laboral, o en una relación de amigos, o en una relación de trabajo, o en una relación profesional, y uno pone de su parte, espera que la otra persona también ponga de su parte. Pero no hay cosa más fea que el otro lado solamente busque su interés, y de este lado hayan las demandas y del otro lado no existan. Cuando eso sucede, la relación se vuelve enferma. Cuando eso sucede, no hay ganas de seguir en una relación así. Cuando eso sucede, se quiebra el vínculo que unía a esa relación. Y lo menciono en esta mañana porque este es el contexto de este pasaje. Un Dios que lo ha dado todo por su pueblo. Y un pueblo, Israel me refiero, que muy por el contrario de ser responsable y responder con su parte del pacto que tenían, muy por el contrario hicieron todo lo opuesto y siempre buscaron su propio interés y dejaron de lado las responsabilidades que tenían con el Señor. Número 2, Israel había pasado 70 años en cautiverio en Babilonia como consecuencia de su alejamiento de Dios. Y esto es un pensamiento histórico de la Biblia. Israel había sido un pueblo desobediente, y ustedes saben la historia, los que me ven también. Israel había sido un pueblo que se había alejado de Dios, que había sido totalmente opuesto a los propósitos de Dios, y Dios les había mandado profetas y les había dicho: pórtense bien, algo malo les va a venir, la desobediencia trae consecuencias, el pecado trae castigo, la indisciplina trae disciplina, la falta de temor trae juicio. Y cada vez que Dios levantaba profetas, todos los judíos terminaron matando a los profetas en
You know, it's very hard to not play the whole sermon, but man, you know, you could just tell his tenacity, you know, and he's not going over the people's heads. He's bringing it down. He's bringing down the message to their level, but still sticking true to the passage, expositorily, faithfully, biblically, historically, all that in context of that passage he was preaching on. And he's preaching all in Spanish to an all Spanish church. How many Spanish churches do you know in your area that are actually doing this? I'll wait. Not many. Although there are church plants being planted from the PCA, from the Southern Baptists, from the Methodists that are, you know, some of the Lutherans, some even the non-denominational, right? The non-denominations that are faithfully trying to reach the Latinos more and more. So I got to give credit to where credit is due. But Pastor Javier Chavez comes in at number 4 on my list because he's reaching the Latinos like hardcore, man. Like he is all in, 100% head first, diving into that community, going to places like I don't know, everywhere pretty much in South America, but around the world too, and especially here in the United States. He's laying that important foundation, you know what I mean? And as the population and the demographics change in the United States from all white to more mixed and predominantly Latino in the United States as 2050, 2060 comes around, studies suggest that there's going to be more Latinos and less whites, Caucasians in America. That's not a bad thing. I think that's a good thing in a sense where this is where the church is going, at least here in the United States. Some more than others in certain parts of the states. Granted, I take that with a grain of salt there. But I understand this. There's going to be more Spanish-speaking people in the future, right? And you got to learn Spanish. You're going to be encountering it sooner or later. And he's laying down that important infrastructure, foundation for future leaders from Georgia all the way to LA, Seattle, all the way to Miami, New York, Chicago, everywhere in the United States. They need to take heed to this pastor, right? They need to take heed to what he's doing. You need to pay attention to what he is doing, because what he's doing is a very important deed, a very important work, and he used to be a missionary. One of the things I also love about Pastor Javier is that he has a missionary heart. Coming from a missionary background, he has this tenacity to do evangelism. He's always thinking of others. He has this awareness of others, this awareness of this great need of making the name of Jesus known. And that's usually commonly found within evangelists, within missionaries. Pastors have that tenacity too. Pastors have that awareness, but it's most commonly found in higher levels, I think, in missionaries. I could be wrong. That's my opinion, but I'm just giving you some of my, observations here. So, I'm not like, this is not a dissertation or nothing like that, but I'm just giving you my opinions here of who I think is the most unknown pastors that should be known, right? And now you know someone who to follow. Let me go ahead and share his Twitter account so you know where to follow him. And he is available on Twitter at JN Chavez, JYN Chavez. He is the senior pastor of Amistad Cristiana, which is in Georgia. He's a visiting professor of global studies at Truett McConnell University. So, just a little bit about him. So, go ahead and give him a follow. I know you may not have a Twitter account, but he also has a Facebook account. I think he has an Instagram account as well as a Twitter page. But go ahead, follow Amistad Cristiana down in Georgia. Pastor Javier Chavez coming in at number 4. Stay tuned as the countdown continues.